Welcome back to the AM Take podcast. I'm Amy.
And I'm Marv, and we're two parts of this very awesome podcast.
Join us as we explore a variety of topics every week.
This week, we're taking a trip down memory lane and revisiting our social media / instant messaging experiences.
Yeah. So, how's it going, Marv?
Pretty good. Interesting topic for the week. Kind of nervous, kind of excited. You know, it's a few decades ago, so definitely interesting to see what I can dig up and what you have to dig up. But
I'm kind of half dreading this because I know there's going to be a lot of cringeworthy
status updates, away messages.
Yes.
So before that,
my goodness,
I think you have some news to share. You guys are taking a vacation.
Yes, very, I suppose you could say long-awaited vacation. Last vacation that we had was in 2019, before the pandemic, and that was in Europe.
Oh, wow.
And
where did you guys go in Europe?
We went to several countries. We went to France, and then we went to England, and then we went to Ukraine.
Oh, was it a special occasion?
It was for Jonathan's... Well, what's that word again?
What word?
Gosh, I'm having a moment. My brain is...
What word?
Niece.
Oh.
Jonathan's niece.
That was the word?
Because I don't know why. That was the word.
Oh,
for some reason, I was stuck on auntie.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, okay. So it was Jonathan's niece baptism.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And we went to Ukraine for her baptism.
Oh, nice.
And it was amazing. It was, of course, it was before the whole Russian invasion thing and all that. So we got to see...
Well, this is before the pandemic too, right?
Yeah, it was before the pandemic. So it was really fun. I wouldn't do it again. The 3 countries in less than 2 weeks, I would not do that again because we were just on the go all the time. It was not restful at all. It was we were tired, man. At some point we were staying at an inn in England, and it was like, I don't know, man, how many flights of stairs there was, but there was no elevators, and they knew that it was quite the cardio because every flight of stairs there was like messages of encouragement of like, you're almost there, don't give up.
What?
Yes. And like we were warned ahead of time too. They were like, oh, let me help you with this, and they took like our luggage and we're like, oh, it's heavy. They're like, no, you know what, I'm used to this, I've got like the biceps and all. And so she's like, trust me, it's a bit of a workout. And she was not lying. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was sweating by the time I got to the top.
So that definitely was an experience then, I guess.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I mean, I don't know if I've gone into details about my European trips. I mean, we had flights being canceled, us waiting at the airport for, I don't know, it's like 9-10 hours.
What?
Of wait time.
It
was just because that
was it?
I think it was Charles de Gaulle. It was in France.
Oh, wow.
And the reason being is this airline company canceled all of their flights. And so like there were multiple flights being canceled everywhere. And then the airport had to reschedule everybody. And it was just, I was told it was because of lack of staff.
Wait, but
from the airline.
This is before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
This was 2018?
This was 2019. Yeah.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so imagine that. It was around August 2019, and we came back in September, and then pandemic started
roughly
not long after. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, first vacation in quite a while. We're going to New York City the week of November 20th. We will be driving there. At first we wanted to fly there, but then...
driving there?
It's a long drive, isn't it? It's like 8 hours drive.
Well, it's not just that. yeah. I mean, I guess yeah. 8 hours is a long drive as well too,
Yeah.
but it's New York City as well too. That's kind of crazy.
Well, okay, so
Have
we
you guys
are
driven?
going to New York City, but we rented an Airbnb in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right.
but you'll have to drive through New York City, which I guess driving through isn't so bad. I guess.
Well, what we thought of doing was to take public transportation to New York City,
Mm.
but I really don't know. I really don't know because I was told that finding parking is nearly impossible
Oh yeah,
in New
yeah.
York
And
City.
even if you do, it's extremely expensive.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think you guys are doing the right thing by taking public transportation. But
Right.
it's gonna be interesting. Did you guys have an itinerary set up, or are you guys just gonna wing it and go with the flow when you get there?
That's what we're doing right now. Like before we go, we're just kind of trying to find places to visit. I've been asking around. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what are your recommendations?
Recommendations for New York City?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I would be like, don't go. But second of all,
Why?
I don't know. It
Why?
just seems so busy, especially for New Year's. Macy's Day Parade is going on. It's going to be
What
going
is
on
that?
while you guys are there, right?
Wait, what is
Oh, you
that?
don't know?
No, what is that?
Well, you can look it up. Oh, it's just like big parade that's been going on for years. I guess a
Okay.
whole century or so. It's hosted by Macy's, which is a department store in the
It's a
States and
clothing brand,
maybe
right?
Canada. Yeah. Well, not brand, but clothing department store, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But they hold this massive like parade.
Is that for like a fashion show type of thing?
No, it's just to celebrate American Thanksgiving.
Oh.
And it's kind of like a tradition where Thanksgiving Day, while everyone's cooking, getting stuff ready, you put on the TV and everybody watches the floats during the parade. And
Oh.
then and that happens in New York City, I believe. And
Oh.
but that'll happen on Thanksgiving Day. So before then, you guys would be able to go out and stuff. And even then, if you guys take public transportation, I doubt though. I mean, public transportation is still gonna be going on as well too. You guys may be able to check it out or see it in person too. Who knows? Depending on what you guys decide to do.
Okay, hold
But
on. It's the
besides that,
Thursday, right? It's the Thursday, so that's the 24th.
yeah, yeah,
We're actually leaving on
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, I thought you guys.
We're leaving the 24th.
Oh.
Well, we are staying somewhere called Elizabethtown or something like that. On the
Elizabethtown in New
25th.
Jersey, though, right?
I don't know, somewhere close by, up north a little bit.
Is it north of New York City or in Jersey?
Yeah, it is. It is because what we wanted to do was maybe stop by a town on our way back to Quebec.
Uh-huh.
And then just like staying a night there. Okay, the reason why we were doing this was because our Airbnb that we rented, we wanted to rent until the 25th, but that wasn't possible. We could only rent until the 24th. So yeah, we just decided to stay at a random nearby town
on the way back.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting when you guys choose to leave on Thanksgiving Day. That'll be interesting.
Shit, is it the traffic?
And,
oh my god, I'm dreading the traffic now.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too. So I was kind of surprised. And then keep in mind the next day is Black Friday per our episode last week. So
no,
yeah,
of all,
I don't think you guys will be fine. You might just have to find a way around, but. Maybe go to Pennsylvania or something like that.
Shoot. You know what? I was actually thinking about that, but then that's further down south.
You should go to.
That's like further away from home.
It's west, I guess, but you can go to Philadelphia and check out the Black Friday stuff if they have any.
Oh my god!
Relive the actual Black Friday history. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. You'll definitely see a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
But I would also try to make time to go check out Central Park. It's really cool. I've never had the chance to actually walk it through. I've driven through, I've walked past, and never actually spent like any significant amount of time.
But it's huge, no? Like you need a.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge too. So hopefully you guys can have a chance to check it out as well too. Yeah. Beyond that, maybe catch a show, a Broadway show, Broadway play. Whatnot.
Okay.
That's always nice as well too. Usually they have discount the day of, but you usually have to be on site at the box office, things like that.
Right. Right.
Unless you want to pay ahead of time, but completely up to you guys. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot to do in New York City. Last time I was there was a long time ago, probably 2008, and we just hung out in Koreatown, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Was there something that you tried?
There's a lot to do
in terms of food that you absolutely loved and recommend.
My time in New York City was interesting. There's a lot of drinking involved. That was the first time I tried flavored soju. Yeah, we tried a lot of that. So that's what I remember the most.
And beyond that, you don't remember anything. Blackout.
I actually don't. And considering that this week is that is pretty relevant to this week's topic, because I actually passed out in New York City.
Oh, wow.
We were at a Korean barbecue, and my friend, he was feeding me while I was passed out at the table. Oh, no. And there's a picture on my Facebook that shows him feeding me while I'm like clearly asleep,
intoxicated,
my head tilted backwards. Yeah, and so that I don't remember the food, but I remember the drinks though for sure. But that was a long time ago, so that was 2008.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that was wild.
Yeah, it was an interesting time. We did go up to the Empire State Building at night, and it was really pretty.
Okay.
And yeah, we went out and then ended up at somebody's apartment that I don't remember, and
wait,
left.
Wait, you ended up in at a stranger's apartment? Holy cow! Okay.
Yeah, it was the whole thing,
wow.
But it was fun times.
Interesting.
And I'm here in one piece, so we're so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, some relevance to our topic this week. But there's a lot to do. I think you guys will find time to, just
yeah, for sure,
do whatever. And if you guys go in with an itinerary, keep it open too, just in case things go on. There's gonna be a lot going on during that week as well too.
So on to the main topic. Yeah, talking about social media platforms. Wanted to do a deep dive into like kind of just reminiscing, I guess, about the various social media platforms that we used or that we didn't use. And so why don't you start us off with what was your experience?
I mean, do we count chat rooms as social media like platforms, or even like instant messengers and stuff like that? Because I know when we talked about this topic, we were discussing like the difference or what those two might be, but that's probably the closest approximation I can get to it. I mean, I feel like back in the day there was more of a clear distinction between the two, but nowadays I feel like it's all meshed together. Oh yeah, of course. Every platform has their own messaging service.
Yeah.
I think the true definition of a social media platform is something that, you can put public facing information on there. You can point people to that this webpage or this site or this profile is you. You own it. You control the information on it, whether or not people see this or that. And I mean, obviously we obviously don't own the information on there because we essentially are the product. So we give up the right for them to utilize our information in regards to the algorithm data, that things of that nature. But yeah, a social media platform, I think, evolved from, I guess I would say it evolved from like instant messaging programs or chat rooms like that, or even forums like that, because I mean, those had different, I guess, parts of what we see as a social media platform today. You have ways to decorate or personalize your profile picture, maybe ways to DM people or to instant message people. For those who don't know, DM is a direct message basically. Instead of posting a public message, you send them a private message and things like that. And so with that in mind, I'd say the first things that I dealt with was AOL chat rooms. Obviously, our first foray into the internet was way back in the late 90s probably, and AOL was a thing. 500 free hours on a floppy disk or a CD-ROM drive.
Wait. Explain.
Yeah.
Explain that to me, because I've never used it before. I think it's It's
Oh,
America
yeah. Do
only.
you know dial-up internet?
I mean, I know
Do you know what
dial-up
dial-up
internet, and
internet
it
is?
was like, yo, it took forever to load a picture. So how did you?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, how did you?
So
Yeah.
AOL was a so the internet was a thing, but AOL was its own like ecosystem, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Um, the closest thing I can probably compare it to is like, did you participate in Neopets?
I did. I did.
Okay, so you know how you log into Neopets and then you have like
Yeah.
all these different spaces you can go to, right?
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so AOL was like that. And it was
Okay.
its own like gateway to quote unquote the internet, but it was all like curated stuff that American Online put together.
Okay.
When you logged in, you were introduced with a home page, but it was curated by AOL. And so they would have like news, media,
Okay.
pictures, movies, things like that. And you can click on it, but you didn't use a browser. You use AOL's internal browser or not. Eventually they
Oh.
yeah, so they made it look like it was its own ecosystem.
Okay.
But in actuality, it was just like a front end to the internet. It was just a gateway
This
to the
kind of
internet.
reminds me of like
Essentially.
Yahoo.
Yeah, in the early days, but AOL like had its own program for it.
Okay.
Like you didn't just use a browser. With Yahoo, Yahoo was just a search engine where it had a bunch of
Right, but there was news and
gateways.
games, and you could,
Yeah,
I think, chat with
and
people as
that
well at
was
some
access
point.
to a browser. But with AOL, it was they had their own program,
Okay.
and within their own program, they had their own like chat rooms, their own chat protocols that you couldn't join unless you were part of AOL.
Okay.
You logged in through AOL.
So how much did it cost to actually buy an AOL membership or whatever you call it?
Subscription. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was basically they were selling internet essentially. So if you subscribe to the internet, then initially they charge per hour.
Okay.
I don't know how much it was because we never signed up for AOL.
Okay.
The pay version, we would always like rack up the
Oh.
free trials and stuff.
Okay.
Because they always, when you went to a store or sometimes you get in the mail, you get these floppy disks or a CD-ROM that would say like 400 free hours of AOL or like 500 or 1,000 or what have you.
Right, right.
And you would just install and set up a new account and we would just recycle because it was me, my mom, and like 5 of us total. So we would just recycle our information.
Okay.
And so you would just constantly sign up for these free hours and just use it up. And then once it's done, you use another floppy disk or you use another CD-ROM drive that you got and then get another 500 free hours, basically. So I don't know how much it costs.
Right. So would you be like chatting with random strangers or would it be with people that you know?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
It was always strangers.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know anybody. Yeah, in that regard, it was a social media platform where you can talk to people, but it was mostly strangers.
Right.
And people did have profiles, I guess. Not really, because it was mainly text based.
Right.
And then from that part, it transitioned over to Instant Messenger, AOL Instant Messenger, because it became so popular they broke it off from the AOL program and made it its own thing. And with that aspect, that's when I started like having friends on there and friends from school and other social spaces, church or what have you. And we would add each other on AIM, which is in AOL Instant Messenger for those who never used it. And obviously from there, it transitioned to, I never really used MSN much, which is Microsoft
I did.
Messenger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you did, but for me, like AIM was where it was at, and that's where we met people and I was socialized, I guess. And then from there, like I said, to MSN Messenger, and that was only a little bit. I wasn't very active on that aspect.
Oh my God.
And then in 2003, I believe MySpace came on board, and I believe that was one of the very first like true social media platforms that went national.
Yeah, I think so.
In the States anyway. And
yeah, I had a MySpace account as well.
Yeah, and we were all friends with Tom.
Yes.
And we all had our top 8 friends,
Yes.
and we had to make sure that people weren't pissed off because they weren't on there and things like that.
Yeah.
So that was the next one. And then for me, I don't know if you know, but there was another social media platform that was pretty popular, I guess. I don't know if it was popular, but it seemed like it was popular at the time. It was called Asian Avenue.
don't know that.
Yeah, you probably don't know that. But Asian Avenue was
I
this,
guess it's like exclusive to Asians.
it
Did you have to prove that you were Asian?
no, you did. But that was it was targeted though. It was targeted towards Asian ethnicity users and stuff. And it was kind of like MySpace, you know? You had your own web page and you can customize it, put music on it, change HTML, do CSS, you know, change the style of it.
Yeah, I do remember doing that from MySpace.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so it was more customizable actually than MySpace. With MySpace, I remember you had to have certain workarounds to be able to like change the whole complete site. Essentially what you did was you put a giant white background over everything, and then from there you created the page you wanted. And people had templates, layouts.
I was gonna say people had templates, and you just had to copy paste. Yeah, the HTML
yeah,
code.
of course, you copy and paste, and then and then you hope that it looked as good as the original one you found, or you hope the code didn't break. But Asian Avenue was there, and that was where I had where a lot of my Hmong friends were, and that's where we congregated, I guess. But I was still going between MySpace and there as well too, and it wasn't long until Asian Avenue eventually shut down. I don't know why or anything like that, but obviously it's probably lack of users, or
maybe
because the exclusion aspect of it, or people didn't feel like anybody could use it. But I remember that it wasn't excluding people, but anyone could have used it. It was just that fact that it was called Asian Avenue.
Okay.
And it was targeted towards Asians, but anybody could have signed up for it. Because I had Hispanic friends who signed up, who were on Asian Avenue as well, too. Okay. And that was interesting. It was good to keep up with people, especially those who were not in the same location as you, people who moved away, things like that. So essentially the same as MySpace, but targeted towards a different audience. Right. And then from there, once I went to college, obviously Facebook. I had a college email. I didn't actually sign up for Facebook until like 2007. Okay. I knew of it from like 2005 or so. And I remember I remember for sure that it started in Harvard, and or was it Harvard or Yale? One of the New England schools.
Yeah, I remember needing a school email. Create
for sure, like account. A college email,
and I didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't have one because I was in high school, so they didn't provide.
Yeah, I forget how young you are, but so it was interesting to have a college email, and I remember specifically requesting a college email. And so you had to get it authorized, or not authorized, verified, and things like that. And
right, like you needed to have friends to verify you. It was like very exclusive.
And that was fun. I had a Facebook up until about 2 years ago, and I did download all my data. And we'll get to that part. But the beginning of Facebook was very interesting.
It was.
You'd go to class and you meet people, and you'd exchange phone numbers. If you didn't want to exchange phone numbers, you exchange Facebook profiles, and you would add people. I mean, poking was a big thing.
It was.
Before you added someone, you poked them. Yeah, and you poked them and see if they return the favor. They did. They might add you, or you might add them. Just to. It was. Now that I think about it, it's cringe.
It's ridiculous. Because, I was gonna say
you'd have these poking wars that you go back and forth, and if you forgot to poke somebody, and they'd be like, what happened?
Right.
Did you forget about me? It's just like, no, it's not that big of a deal, but it was. And it just, now that, y'all grown up, it just seems like such, oh God, petty stuff. Yeah. But, and from there, I went onto Instagram. Obviously, Instagram is a part of Facebook now. Yeah. But it was a very different scene then, strictly about pictures. And that way, it had its own separate, I guess, concept versus Facebook or MySpace or any of the other ones, because it was originally, a place to post pictures and what you did on the daily, such as, I guess, when you eat nice food, you put a picture, or I remember when I first got Instagram, I saw people putting pictures of food, and I was like, why are people taking pictures of food? So me being a dumbass I am, I started taking pictures of me eating like McDonald's. Like, oh my God, look at this McChicken with mustard and pickles, things like that. And so it wasn't, I guess it wasn't fashionable to post stuff like that, but I did anyway. I mean, even to this day, people take pictures of food and things like that, which is cool and stuff like that. But all it does is make me hungry and like makes me sad that I can't have the same food. But I mean, that's what you do when you gotta chase clout. You know, you gotta make people feel bad about not being able to eat the same kind of food. So,
I mean, unless you're like a food blogger or something like that.
True, and it's nice to see what people are eating because sometimes if I'm in the location, I would like to know what they had or if it was good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of a review, but nobody ever reviews anything. They just post pictures and I don't know if they liked it or not. It looks good. Right. So I'm assuming it's good. Otherwise they wouldn't put it, right? No one would lie on the internet, but you never know. But that's basically a truncated history of my social media platforms that I use and dealt with, I guess. Aside from, I guess, do we count video games as social media?
I was going to
platforms?
say.
But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, I was going to say a big part of my quote-unquote social media or instant messaging type of communication was through MMORPG or not MMORPG, but just like multiplayers type of games.
Yeah.
And then I would add them on MSN.
Oh, how naive.
And
I'm just kidding.
I've come to know a few people.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like locals, and then like I would be so surprised, like, hey, what? You're in the same city as I am, and it would always be quite awkward meeting them in person.
Oh,
yeah, it's just weird. So aside for that, I did the whole Neopets thing. I have to say, I very much like these social media platforms that you could actually play games.
Oh gosh.
In them.
Lower like
because
Club Penguin and
unlike
Neopets.
Well, I never did the Club Penguin thing, but I know you haven't done the Neopets thing, but you had your own currency. Like Neopets had their own currency.
My sister was so involved in Neopets. She was making like graphics for people and GIFs and things like that for people. I know she was super involved in that.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
And similarly, I participate, I guess, or there was this thing called IMVU.
Wow.
And it was this social hub where you have an avatar, and it was mainly focused around avatar fashion. So you had in-game currency or that website currency, and you could spend that currency on buying clothes for your avatar, and some of them is free, some of them cost money, which is how they make money, right? Like you purchase credit. But as a member, you can also pay a certain fee, like a creator fee or something like that. And you can create your own fashion. And then you could put it up for sale and then actually get paid for that.
What?
And so that was a cool thing.
Like in real money?
Yeah.
Or in-game currency?
I think in real money.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you participate in this money-making adventure?
No, because I was too young, but I did get gifted at some point like a trial. So I think it was like a month trial.
I see.
And where I could create my own avatar clothes. And I tried. It is much more difficult than I thought it would be because you're working in 3D, because like the avatar is kind of 3D, and so like the clothing items is not, for a simple hoodie. You put a pattern on it, you have to kind of think about it wraps around and then like the shapes and everything. So that wasn't for me. I thought it was gonna be more simple than that, but yeah, no. That didn't last long. And then after that, what happened? Facebook happened. And then before Facebook, MySpace. There was something called High Five as well.
Oh,
and it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I heard about that. I didn't hear about that until late. Like,
right.
I didn't know what it was until somebody mentioned
so
it.
It was.
What is
it
that?
was a kind of like MySpace. It was really like MySpace, and I had a lot of high school friends that I added on High Five. And then I forgot about that account. And then years later, I would say like maybe a year ago.
Wait, a year ago, 2021?
Yeah. I had this stupid ass random notification about high five, and I'm like, huh. Oh, that thing is still
Wait,
active?
how did you get a notification?
Because of my email.
Wait, but you haven't checked in years.
I know. Which is why
What was
it's
the notification about?
You know what? I don't even remember. Maybe it was about
Oh.
like closing my account or something like that.
Wow.
And so
Hey.
I got curious and I logged into my account.
Oh, God.
Apparently I still remember my password. So I logged in and it completely changed because people are just treating it like a Tinder now.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It is so stupid. And I just deactivated my account. And then after that, at some point I moved on to Skype. And I feel like Facebook Messenger, after it was created, completely wrecked Skype and a lot of instant messaging platforms.
Now, did you use Skype? How did you get onto Skype? Was that through MMOs as well too, or because I know a lot of people got onto MMOs or got to Skype through MMOs or online
Yeah,
games.
I think it was. Yeah, because I think that the calls through MSN wasn't stable enough.
Yeah.
So then I had to like go on Skype for gaming. Yeah.
Did you use like Ventrilo or TeamSpeak at all? The other voice messaging program? I see.
Yeah.
I know those are big for like voice messaging.
Right.
Those were actually only for voice messaging, I think. Or voice chat, I guess you could say, not voice messaging.
Right. And then I haven't used Skype in a very long time because after I've discovered Discord, it's so much better than Skype.
Wait, you use Skype all the way up to Discord?
Yeah.
Wow, you're dedicated. Holy smokes.
Yeah, and
That's
I've
hilarious.
discovered Discord. Geez, when did I discover Discord?
Oh wait, what am I talking about? I was the same way. I remember that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I never
see?
used Skype, but I remember people transitioning from Skype to Discord.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a long time.
I feel like it hasn't been that long that I've discovered Discord, to be honest.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Discord is its whole thing. It can be huge, it can be small, because it can be just instant messaging with some friends that you know, but also like let's say if you join a big server, right? Then the server itself becomes its own bubble of social media.
That's true.
And
filled with their own history and things like that as well.
Yeah.
Too, for sure.
Right. And like I myself have created a server before. And I mean the server is still up. That was fun. But yeah, so that's kind of like my resume, if you will, of social media platforms that I've used. But I know of Twitter and I've never been a fan of it. Snapchat as well, I've never been a fan of it. I just didn't understand the concept of
messaging.
I don't know, like you post something and it gets erased.
Oh.
And then Twitter as well, right? Like you're only limited to how many characters?
Honestly,
I don't know, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So then like it forces you to only post status. Like imagine the early Facebook status updates and then
that's exactly why though, right?
Yeah, but it's so
but
stupid.
Wasn't that like a but that's true, but wasn't that one of the core aspects of like Facebook in the beginning?
It was.
Like, it asks you how you're doing today,
yeah,
or
how
what's
you're
going
feeling.
on and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was like one of the big things. And then,
yeah,
if people engage with you, then people would comment. If they weren't, then you would just have nobody comment on your statuses, which is kind of sad, but kind of hilarious at the same time. How much we crave attention.
Right.
But with that said, let's go into our first 5 posts of Facebook.
Oh God.
So Amy, would you like to start this by letting us know what your first 5 posts in Facebook was when you first joined?
Right. So it was June 30, 2008. My first post was about my celebrity lookalikes. And there was like a link. And I suppose it was taking my profile picture. And I don't know, the algorithm trying to find celebrity lookalikes. You know what? I think it was a friend of mine tagging me and then just saying like, hey, if you've been tagged, you have to do this. And of course, I obliged.
Chain letters. They never went away. They just evolved.
Yeah, remember those? Remember
Gosh.
those? Like in the emails?
Yeah.
And then they're like, if you don't forward this, then you're going to have bad luck for the next 3 years or
God.
something like that.
That's never gonna die.
Yeah. They don't exist anymore, do they? 'Cause, like, it's just...
I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. Somebody's probably gonna send us a chain letter.
Yeah. And then in September 2008, I guess I had a throat infection or a cold because my status was Amy's throat hurts.
Wait, when was your second post ever?
September 2008.
So that's 3 months in between then. Wow.
Yeah, that's 3 months in between. Like, I wasn't that active because
Oh. God.
Fun fact, I was stubborn about Facebook. I didn't want to make one.
Oh.
I really did not want to make one. And it was just all my friends. I remember it was like when I joined Facebook, I don't remember who, but I do remember a friend of mine's like, finally. And then January 2009, Amy is getting used to contact lenses again.
Wow. Thanks for
so
letting us know.
mundane. Oh gosh, this is so cringeworthy. And then February 2009. Oh, see the increments in between. It's getting shorter and shorter. Yeah. February 2009 is 25 random things about me.
Wow.
I think I got tagged again.
Wow.
And then April 2009 is a song title, a Japanese song title.
Mm.
It's titled Hokiboshi, which is I think it was from an anime opening. No, I don't. I probably will remember if I hear it again. Oh gosh, for real?
No, we don't have to. We don't want to subject people. But we got the title name, so you guys can check it out and let us know how it is.
Oh my goodness.
So why do you think you posted that day?
I was listening to it.
Oh, okay. So
I guess.
just to let people know what you were listening to.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay.
Now we got Spotify doing that for us automatically, so we don't
Yeah,
have
I was going to say. Yeah.
But what about you?
That's interesting. Wow. So
it's your time to be embarrassed.
Okay. All right. So I think I joined Facebook a little bit earlier, probably 2006, I think, 2007. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do anything with it, I think. But more likely I joined it and posted the same day. Mm-hmm. All right. So my first post, and it was February 12th, 2007, and it was at 1:13 p.m. Mm-hmm. And it says, I can't believe I'm doing this. And so obviously I was reluctant to sign up for Facebook, and I did as well. And then I joined, and then I was like, oh, hey, everyone's updating their status, so let's update. So February 12th, 2007 at 8:13 p.m., I let everyone know that I was trying to type an essay with the sad face on there.
Do you remember what essay it was? I
don't remember. I was an English major and trying to write, I guess. I don't recall. Probably homework assignment or something like that. And then at the same time, the same day, the number 3 post is on the same day, and it says, still, all caps, trying to type an essay in sad face. And that was at 11:48 p.m. on the same day, February 12th.
You know what this is, though?
So my first 3 posts, what?
This is proof of procrastination.
Oh, you don't know. Like, procrastination in my status updates were friends. Mm-hmm. And because that's where I turned to when I procrastinated. Right. Like, I wanted the whole world to know I was procrastinating. I was so cool and I'm a procrastinator. And then the 4th post was February 15th. Mm-hmm. And that was at 11 a.m. And my status was trying to put together another presentation. And I don't know why. I guess I wanted to let people know I was doing something. Okay. And then the next post was, oh gosh, this is so cringy. Was February 17th, 2007, 1:18 a.m. And my status update was conversing with insomnia.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Yeah, my god, right?
Oh my god, I can't believe you wrote that. Oh my god, it's so cringeworthy.
Oh,
I feel for you.
I'm so edgy.
So hipster.
But I did remember it was a good number of people commented, and so I did talk with people who were up as well too.
Right.
Being college, so I wasn't the only one who was up. So yeah,
they must have been
so,
like working on something. Yeah, me too.
No, they weren't like that. They were like, go to sleep. My friends were not like that. They weren't. They were not like, oh, are you okay? No, it's like, go to sleep. What are you doing up? Stuff like that.
Like, takes one to know one. You're not. I don't see you sleeping.
So, and honestly, at the same time, I probably wasn't really doing any of this. I was probably playing World of Warcraft more likely anyway, and just trying to seem studious or something of that nature, I guess. But yeah, my status updates are full of cringe, edgy posts, and
from the likes of it seems like you were quite active, because I mean they were all on February 12th.
Oh, I was quite active I was quite active in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it just became really, I didn't have time to update my statuses all the time. But I did participate in regards to like writing notes or like commenting on people's posts and posting pictures and things like that as well too. And I did enjoy it because it was a way to keep in touch with people that you couldn't always see in person.
Right.
And my time in college I had a great time, and so a part of it, I have to say, was attributed to Facebook, because I did meet a lot of cool people that do it that way. You meet people at parties, just add them on Facebook, and then you see what they're doing, and then you message them, and then you meet up with people. And so it was a way to keep track of people. Not keep track of people, but keep in touch with people, not just through the phone. Like if you didn't have somebody's phone number, but you had their Facebook, things like that, it was an easy way to get in touch with people and to find out if there was anything going on, parties going on, or things like that. So, and at the same time, it was a way to be edgy and let people know your feelings about things through your status updates, So some of these are so sad. Anyway, yeah. So trying to be cool, I guess. But yeah, so those are my 5 the first 5 posts I have for my Facebook. And
do you ever get like random messages from like complete strangers who are weird?
Why do you assume they're weird just because they message you? Goodness gracious.
I mean, depends on the message, I never did. Content of the message.
I'm trying to recall. I don't have Facebook now, so I don't remember, but I think so, but I always took it in stride. I was never immediately put on the defensive, because I always assumed that if someone was reaching out to me, they knew me or who my friends were or something like that, because I was very particular about my privacy settings, I guess you could say. And so one big thing I did was I left it open for friends of friends, because obviously someone's gonna message me or send me a friend request, like then they know me through somebody, or they know somebody I know, or we have a mutual friend. So that was initial fence that they had to jump over to get to me, so I
was gonna say I have that setting as well, like friends of friends, but I don't know what it is, or I don't know what I have to do to make it stop. Once in a blue moon, I will get a random message from a random dude, either in China or like.
I'm sorry.
But I don't understand though, like how they get through. Anyway.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I would double check your privacy setting. Maybe your profile is set to public. Maybe it's set to be able to be searched by a search engine. I know there's a setting now that you can prevent search engines from showing your name or your profile when they search your name. So that might be one of the things. Okay. But I think from a woman's perspective, they get more unsolicited messages and things like that. Especially if the profile is set up private.
The worst part is I don't even understand them, because like they're trying to speak to me in Chinese. I'm not literate, right? Like I can speak it and I can and all that, but like I'm not literate. So yeah, that's weird.
So do you respond?
No.
Oh, okay. I think you respond in English or like something else and be like and see what they respond.
Oh no, I don't even. You would? You would respond.
So speaking of unsolicited messages, I get random text messages.
Yeah.
And I know people have been getting this, people have been getting this, especially guys. I've my guy friends, and it's always somebody who would message you, but and give you, and just to let everyone out there know, this is a scam, by the way. And so what they do is they message you, but they message you a message that, oh god, they message you a message intended for somebody else, but it goes to you, and then you obviously your response is, if you're a genuinely normal person, would be, oh hey, sorry, wrong phone number.
Yeah.
And then
it would be something along the lines of like, hey, are we still good for Friday, something like that, right?
Yeah. And then they would respond back, oh, I'm sorry, and they were like, you seem like a cool person, can we continue the conversation or something like that? And if you do, you find out that this person will eventually say something like, oh, my name is so and so, it seems like this is destiny that we've met. And like,
they'll send a picture at some point.
It's so dumb. They'll send a picture at that point.
Yeah.
And it's always some attractive young woman, and then obviously it goes from there, where they obviously will eventually try to get to know you and try to get you to invest in cryptocurrency, and it'll obviously be a scam and things like that. But they try to pull on your heartstrings. They try to establish some sort of relationship with you, and it's all a farce. It's all a scam. But so I've gotten a bunch of those, and it's funny because I try to lead them on. And one time some lady said that, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any money, can you help me do this and that?
God.
And she's like, what do you mean you don't have any money? And like, I just kept egging her on, and I was like, I thought you loved me, and I thought we were meant to be. I thought this is fate that we met. What happened?
What?
And things like that. And then they would just stop responding. But I remember, when I got my first one, I was super naive. I'm like,
oh, you believed it
until I got the picture. Yeah, when I got the picture, I realized it was fake, because I'm like, okay, this is obviously super, not Photoshop, but like her makeup was really like airbrushed. So she took a picture, obviously, and then she airbrushed over it. I'm like, okay, this is a scam. And then that's when I turned the script on that. And so, yeah, occasionally I get that, and it's just sad. And I know a lot of people have fallen for it as well too. But that's just one of those things where you shouldn't really respond to any unsolicited messages unless you're trying to mess with them. Yeah. Which I totally get your point as well.
See, this is why the previous generation, like our parents, warn us about stranger danger on the internet.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, they're so susceptible to like fake news.
That's true. That
fake
is
news,
so
fake messages
true.
and stuff. Yeah. The other day, my dad messaged the family group chat, and he's like, Chuck Norris died. I'm like, what? Chuck Norris did not die.
No.
And so I did a quick Google search. My sister already responded. She's like, Dad, he's not dead. And my dad's like, look on Google. I'm like, no, Dad.
Wait.
I know he got an email or something that said Chuck Norris.
I got a better one for you. I got a better one for you.
Oh gosh.
So my mom's like, at some point, she's like, oh, did you know that a huge tornado went through Ontario, and then it was just, there was so many deaths. I'm like, what? No, I didn't hear that on the news. Where does this come from? And I'm like, I'm trying to look up online articles, right? And I couldn't find anything. I'm like, where does it come from? She's like, here, I'll show you. And it was, my mom uses an app called WeChat.
Okay,
and it's very popular amongst Chinese people. And she has this group of friends of her age, and they sent something like a video, and it was saying how it was a tornado that passed through Ontario, and then so she clicks on it, shows me the video.
Was it like a sci-fi video, CGI and stuff, or?
Yes.
Oh my god! Really?
So wait, hold on. So like, first of all, there was suspense music. So like, and then the actors are like, hurry, and then there you see the tornadoes and all that, and then like the camera, oh my god, the camera angles, right? At one point there was like a shot of the wheels turning of the car.
What?
It's like a low shot, right? Like it was a shot of the distance,
so clearly
it was
a cinematic
shooting the
shot.
tornado approaching. Yeah, it was a cinematic shot. Just started laughing. she she thought it was real. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that's
Oh.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Yeah.
man. And then at some point she was telling me how like, oh, they found a mermaid on the shore.
Oh no, I remember that. Yes. I remember that.
And
That
there
was
was
a
a
while
picture
ago.
of like
Oh
I was like,
god.
mom, it's a movie prop. It's a come on.
Oh man. That's
uh
crazy.
good times. Good times. It is entertaining.
So yeah, with that said, and we've had good times and bad times with social media as well too, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fake news nowadays and propagation of news articles that may or may not be correct,
Mm-hmm.
or actual factual information, things like that. So
Right.
Amy, where do you think social media is heading in the future?
Honestly, I think that it is a social media boom. Like it's incredible how like we thought that back in the day, back 10 years ago, that social media was at its peak. Nuh-uh. It is growing and growing and growing, and it's just a content creator economy. Honestly, it's on the rise, and social media social media platforms is not only for ads, but like people document their processes. There's fan clubs, and they also use it for clientele research. Like I know a lot of content creators would ask their fans, what do you want, or should I make this or should I make that. They make tutorials. They at some point launched their own brand, their merch, their company. They build an empire. They have so much money that they can hire employees, and it's just incredible. And honestly, I feel like the social media kings and queens, like the really popular ones, it really is like a Hollywood 2.0, I'd have to say, because it's like fame and celebrity. And yeah, I was going to say that at least these artists, they don't have to be monopolized by talent companies, but um especially in Korea, I think that there's a lot of talent companies that focus on acquiring talent for social media, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
have this huge building, and then they have like booth, or not booth, but like rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and then they rent it out to, well, if they acquire like talents, they manage them, and then they get a certain percentage cut. And it's very similar to like traditional talent management companies, I would say.
I see.
But yeah, so where is it headed? You know what? I've been saying this a couple of years ago, but have you noticed how celebrities are very involved in the political
Mm-hmm.
world? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger
Well, he
and
was.
Donald Trump and
Well, I mean, both of them were politicians in general. Yeah.
yeah. And like even Leonardo DiCaprio was at some point giving out speeches. What was it? Not UNICEF, but the something else. It was a really good speech.
Mm-hmm.
But it was about climate change. But anyway, I feel like they could be headed there. I feel like if content creators are so popular and has such a huge fan base, if they want to, they could easily influence their fan base politically.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that's a
You
possibility.
think that's a positive?
That's if they
You
want
think that's
to,
a
though.
positive aspect, or you think that's a negative aspect?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I mean, depends.
Obviously, yeah, it can go both ways.
Depends on where you stand. Yeah, but I feel like that concept is applicable for any person of fame.
I see. That's an interesting take. I completely disagree.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're at a point now in regards to the social media space that it's in free fall. I think.
Okay.
I truly believe it's in free fall. I mean, I think it's been that way for years because you had all the scientific studies that say people are more depressed the more time they spend on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the mainstays of social media is to get you to use it as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be on there as long as you can so that they can feed you advertisements and things like that. And because of that, I think there's been a big push in the past maybe half a decade, 5 years or so, for people to just get off social media. I mean, that's why you have things on your smartphones now that says it's called digital well-being. It'll tell you what app you're using for too long. It'll tell you to get off your smartphone or not use it, and take a break or something like that, just for your own mental health as well. Because there's been studies showing that the more time you spend on social media, the worse outlook you have, because what you see in social media isn't always reflective of real life. People put the best things that they see, or the best pictures that they put, the most modified pictures that will trigger the most engagement, the most likes, things of that nature. And I think people are just tired of being the product. Social media now isn't like social media 10 years ago, where it was Joe and Katie and Matt were just putting them daily mundane things that they're doing so their friends can engage with them. Because they're not always there. It's not about that anymore. It's about who has the most clout, who can put the first big break of a new car that's coming out, or the first news article that comes out. And it's not even about, I think originally social media was built on the basis of connection. We use technology to connect people, but now it's like,
wouldn't you say it's more like entertainment now?
Oh yeah, it's definitely more entertainment. And I mean, you have TikTok, obviously, Vine, things like that, definitely for entertainment, and that's where content creation comes in as well too. But I think there needs to be a separation between social media and content creation. I mean, sure, they can intermingle, but I think you can have social media, but I think content creation needs to be its own separate thing. I don't think it's a good idea to combine the two, because then ultimately the content creators be the one monopolizing thing. If social media is seen as just a entertainment platform, then all you're gonna have on there are content creation, because you have the algorithm like, oh hey, X number of people only watch this person. Let's just push this person's content out. And then you have like your mom and your dad, like they put stuff on there no one ever sees except for their family. But that might actually be the point, is that that I believe was the original point of social media, is to foster these connections with people that that you do engage with, not random 500,000 users that you don't even know on a personal level. But I think that's what everyone is aiming for, because of this whole aspect of monetization. And monetization is good, and it's created a new genre of jobs and titles and things like that. But at the same time, it being in the social media space, or it being considered social media, is kind of a double-edged sword. And so to speak on the future, I think it's going downhill. I mean, more and more people are getting off these platforms and reconnecting with people on a personal level in person. Obviously, the pandemic made things worse, but now that people have quote unquote come to their senses, phone calls are a thing, text messaging is a thing, meeting in person is a thing as well too.
I feel like the children of our generation, especially, like our generation, is careful about that, of what to feed into the brains of the next generation. So I feel like...
You think so?
Yeah, I do feel like they're trying to guard their children from too much exposure to like media, because I remember people saying how they're limiting their kids to TV, right? Or limiting their kids to...
but how many kids have you seen walking around with the iPad?
Well, yeah, that's already like not... But I mean, like babies now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm curious. So, how do you feel about, say, Facebook and Instagram kind of intertwined in between the two, like content creation and also social media? Because things like YouTube and TikTok, I would say it's more heavily focused on content creation, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
You're not really socially linked to the people you know. Like when you have your YouTube account?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I consider YouTube to be a social media platform anymore, because it's not. It's with the aspect of monetization and ads. I mean, clearly it's not really meant for social media, because you can post videos on Facebook, and you can post videos on, or reels, I guess, on Instagram. But for me, I still consider Instagram somewhat as a social media platform because I don't care if I get 1 like, 2 likes, or anything like that. It's a record of what I want to put out there. You know, it's for my friends to see. They engage with it. That's cool. If they don't engage with it, that's cool. And it's a record of time because I see it. You know, I do a little bit of photography, and so that's why I engage with Instagram, because it's a record of what I've taken a picture of, or that day, or something like. It means a little bit to me. It means something to me to put it out there. It's not just something mundane like my first 5 status updates on Facebook, where it is in a way kind of mundane as well too, but not that mundane. You know, it actually has some value to me because I want to put out there that, hey, this is what I see today, this is what I'm doing today. And it's not, I don't post every day as well too, you know, at the same time. And I know that at least one friend will talk about it or ask me about it or things like that, you know.
Right.
And it's for those people who I don't interact with all the time as well too, to know that, hey, I'm still alive, you know.
So speaking of Facebook and whatnot, I think it was like yesterday that was announced, or 2 days ago, that Mark Zuckerberg announced that he was firing 13% of his employees, like Meta employees, and that's equivalent to about 11,000 people. And then, like, not too long ago, before that, Elon Musk fired 50% of employees on Twitter. And that's about 7,500 people. And, like, okay, think about the numbers for a moment, right? Twitter, 50% is equal to 7,500 people. And then Meta, 13% is equal to 11,000 people. Like, holy cow, Facebook is huge. Meta is huge.
Yeah, but like,
right?
Yeah, they're huge, but they're not too big to fail. You know, their valuation has dropped significantly as well too. So it's not, even though they're so big, like, they're bleeding money. They're bleeding, you know, they have to fire employees. So something is obviously on the horizon. Some change is coming, I think, with these giant social media platforms that are essentially losing people or having to cut people, and, you know, losing valuation. They're not as valuable as they were. And I think that's gonna signal a shift in the social media space, especially with Elon Musk having taken over Twitter. It's gonna be interesting to see how he revamps it. I mean, already he's throwing some interesting changes into the fire.
What was it? It was like a subscription fee or something. At first he wanted $20 per month, and now it's like $8 a month.
To be quote unquote verified.
Right. But that was his strategies of trying to save Twitter, because apparently they were losing way too much money and he couldn't back out of the deal.
But
so he had to make these changes.
But that's
and firing 50% of employees is one of those strategies, apparently.
Firing 50% of the employees was definitely a cost saving strategy, but I don't think charging $8 for people who want to be verified is going to be anything, because currently, as it stands, the number of people who actually have the blue check mark on Twitter only numbers to 430,000 people. And those are actual celebrities, politicians, what have you, that have those blue verified, and they're basing on the assumption that regular people will want that setup, so they're willing to pay $8 to have a blue check mark too. And I don't think that's the case. I mean, it usually doesn't work out when you just start charging people for something, and there's no value from it. I mean, what do you get from that? I don't know if there's anything besides that blue icon.
Do you feel like this move right there is going to be the downfall of Twitter? That everybody's just going to migrate to something else?
I don't know. I don't use Twitter enough. I don't use it at all, actually.
Me neither.
I have friends who do use it, and
you know what? I actually did create a Twitter account for the AM Take, but I feel like taking it down and deactivating it.
Why?
because I don't even go on there. I don't know. One day I was like, oh, I must make socials for the AM Take. And Twitter was one of them. But definitely I feel like taking it down now.
Yeah. I honestly, you know, I did have a Twitter, I think, for I had to create one for Japanese class one time, and because we had to post something about it, and I just it was basically essentially like what you said. It's a bunch of like status updates, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about creating one and just literally putting what I did with my Facebook statuses when I had Facebook. You know, like, oh, hey, going to the store, or eating a hot dog, or I can't believe I'm doing this, or, trying to finish a project. Stupid, mundane things, because I feel like that's what the platform is used for. But I know that a lot of people use it because it's an easy way to engage with people they
I feel
like.
a lot of celebrities use it.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities use it, and they use it by themselves. Some of them do have like Twitter teams and things like that, but
True.
I think the majority of them actually tweet themselves.
Yeah.
And that's an easy way for you to reach somebody. Because I've used Twitter to, like, when I was traveling to the Maldives, and I had when I got back, I had an issue with one of the tickets I had originally purchased, and they said the fastest way to resolve this, DM us on Twitter. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I activated my account and like messaged them, and I mean, it literally took like 5 minutes for them to respond and resolve the issue, and I was like, oh wow, okay. This is pretty cool. And like, it was weird because I messaged them and then they messaged me back, and I'm like, oh hey, this is a real like company that I'm talking to, a real person, not a robot. And I can imagine, like, say for example, you message Elon Musk, right? You ask him a question and he responds. I mean, how cool would that be,
Right.
Or like any number of celebrities. Sometimes they may or may not respond in kind, might say something mean, but you never know.
I think someone actually at some point messaged a celebrity. It was Nicki Minaj. Messaged him and saying something like, hey, I have like a 4.3 GPA. I'm a like A+ student and I am having trouble paying my tuition. Can you pay tuition for me? And she actually did.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like
I don't remember if it was Nicki Minaj, but
well, I know
it was like
that brings up a point. I know with Taylor Swift, somebody asked her if she can go to prom with them.
Oh.
And she did say yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she did say yes. She responded yes. And then obviously because of the logistics of it and because it's Taylor Swift and because of high school, obviously she didn't go, but she did like, she did send them like, her a bunch of stuff and things like that and pictures and stuff like that. But obviously she couldn't go because the logistics, that would be crazy. Yeah. Taylor Swift out of high school, it wouldn't just be the high school students, and it would be the whole town showing up. Right. But yeah, it's just, I guess that's the draw of Twitter, is that you can engage with people on a almost personal level. And I guess that's probably the closest thing to oh God, I don't want to say this, a human connection you can have with a person who seems out of reach. Yeah, I guess it does put them at a reachable distance, but at the same time, that goes both ways, because you can provoke them the same way by saying something mean publicly and get a response that way too, things like that. But it goes both ways as well too. It's one of those weird things, I guess, especially because it's such a public space as well too. So
definitely, I feel like you may be onto something about the shift coming soon. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be meta. Maybe not. I don't know.
But, you make a good point with entertainment, though. Like, the biggest platform, I think, right, is the fastest growing platform right now is TikTok, obviously.
No.
What is it?
Hold on. You'll be surprised with this piece of news. Actually, I think this piece of news came out today, where YouTube is monetizing shorts now, and they have 100 million in their budget between 2021 and 2022, where they call it YouTube Short Funds, and it's based on performance, and you can earn between $100 or $10,000, and it could be, I don't know what it is. They don't reveal it, of course. It's not only based on views, but I think it's also in comparison to your channel.
Okay.
And you don't have to be a part of the YouTube partner program to earn that type of money. So this might actually threaten TikTok, because it seems like it's a better monetization.
But wouldn't that only like factor in if it's an actual creator? like someone who's actually using it as their job as opposed to just a random person posting TikToks for fun.
It could be anybody. It could be
Yeah,
anybody.
that's what I'm saying. But my point was that TikTok's the fastest growing platform right now, right?
For now.
Is it? Well, I thought because you stopped me, so I thought you had the answer.
Oh no. Well, this piece of news today, I feel like is going to be a game changer. And I feel like TikTok's going to used to be the fastest growing platform, but YouTube is probably going to try to monopolize that because shorts do work. And it would
but I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like if you go on YouTube Shorts, you still see people just reposting their TikTok.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the thing is it has to be an original thing. So according to YouTube, it said like if you're reposting something and it has watermark somewhere, that doesn't count. Mm-hmm. So you have to post an original short.
I don't know. I'm suspicious of that because you can just zoom in or zoom out a little bit, and then you cut off the TikTok watermark.
Oh, you think?
Yeah,
oh.
You know,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and so you can pre-record videos and then upload them on TikTok, and then it'll apply the watermark, but then re-upload the raw file to YouTube as a short as well too. So there's ways to get around that, I think. But yeah, what my point was is that like I think it is going towards more the way of entertainment now because I just feel like nobody has an attention span to. That's the whole point of TikTok and YouTube Shorts is that you get a couple of seconds to go through something, and it's all like short form stuff, and it's all, and everybody I know who uses TikTok, and every time I see them use TikTok, it's just like they swipe and laugh, and then laugh really hard, and then swipe again and laugh, and then swipe laugh, and me. Swipe and laugh, and exactly. And so that's all it is. It's entertainment. It's the Tinder of entertainment. Yeah. You know, you swipe if it's funny, you laugh. If it isn't, you swipe. You see a few of the same creative. Yeah. Then you like them or you follow them and things like that. And then that's it. I mean, you don't see people going on TikTok. Well, you do, I guess, see people go on TikTok with PSAs and things like that. But I mean, that's a whole nother aspect of it because I've seen a couple of those. How to make a meal in like 15 seconds, and they cut through like making a whole dish, and that's not true. The reality of it. No, it's not. It doesn't take you 15 seconds. No. It requires prep work and things like that. And so I don't know. It's a interesting topic, and I think it's gonna be interesting in the next few years or half a decade or a decade to see what happens in that regard, especially with the advent of new technology and things like that. Because as much as we have new technology, we're still human beings. We still have the need to connect in some form or manner, whether it's through the internet, online, phone, in person, things like that.
That's true.
I think fundamentally that's still going to be at the core, but it's going to be how we react to it, I guess, with how we utilize technology to bridge that gap, I guess. So, yeah, that's it for this week.
Yeah, so that about wraps up this episode about social media. How was your experience through the years? What are your thoughts on the future of social media platforms? Do you think social media is heading into a positive or negative direction? Let us know by writing to theamtake@gmail.com. That's TheAMTAKE@gmail.com. Next week, we'll be discussing life pro tips that we've come across and that we think it's worth checking out. Stay tuned for some helpful tips. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow. See ya!